Welcome to The Terrible Take, a daily segment telling Steelers Nation what's on our mind. I'm Bryan. With the 2022 preseason now winding down for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and on the heels of there being a flurry of moves made by the team recently, now seems to be a great time to update the team's salary cap situation. Currently, I have the Steelers unofficially at a little more than $9.433 million under the cap, with all moves through Wednesday processed. That number, however, does not account for several injury settlements that have taken place this summer, as none of them have hit the NFLPA site yet. Additionally, it's worth noting that the Steelers currently have $1.44 million in charges on their reserve injured list, and if those carry on into Week 1, that amount will also count against their cap number. So, if we're being realistic, the Steelers are currently roughly a little more than $8.1033 million under the cap, pending the outcome of those three players still on the reserve injured list and the total amount of all injury settlements not yet reported. Now, at least a little more than $5 million more in salary cap space will need to go towards a 52nd and 53rd player and a full practice squad once the league removes the rule of 51. Additionally, the Steelers will likely want to have at least another $5 to $8 million in free cap space to start the season to use for emergency signings and practice squad elevations. In short, the Steelers are likely going to need to free up some salary cap space at some point in the very near future. Some space might be gained by the final roster cuts, but unless players such as wide receiver Miles Boykin and or inside linebacker Marcus Allen are cut, the cap savings produced by the final roster cutdowns isn't likely to be huge. There's also still a chance that one or two more players wind up being placed on the reserve injured list by Week 1. Now, while most of you listening to this take don't like the odds of it happening, the Steelers can clear $3 million in salary cap space minus roster displacement cost by trading away quarterback Mason Rudolph by Week 1. That's just something to keep in the back of your mind. In closing, and based on where the team sits right now, and with the rule of 51 close to going away, don't be surprised if the Steelers wind up restructuring the contract of outside linebacker TJ Watt sometime after the final preseason game takes place on Sunday. That's something that really needs to be considered at this point of the offseason. Be sure to follow us at SteelersDepot.com and check out episodes of The Terrible Take every day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And check out The Terrible Podcast with myself and Alex Skazora every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.